everyone, it's Marcy here from Stampin' with Marcy, and I am here with you today to create a pretty card using the new Dandelion Wishes stamp set. This stamp set can be found on page 118 of the annual catalog, and it is absolutely fabulous. I love it. Please, when you pop on, say hi. Let me know you're here. Please share my video with anybody you feel may enjoy it. And please comment that you have shared it so that I know that you have done that. Yeah, so let's get started. Today we are going to be coloring with using these three colors: Mango Melody, Granny Apple Green, and Daffodil Delight. As you can see, I have these two are brand new reformulated stamp cases, and this is my old one. I won't replace it until it's time. It's the exact same ink color, so I feel that there is no need to be going and replacing it at this point. So let's move this out of the way, and I'm going to be using my Stamparatus today, and I'm going to be embossing. So I am going to take my embossing buddy and just rubbing it over my card front so that way it eliminates any of the static. And I'm going to put it back down here on my Stamparatus. Because I'm using watercolor paper, I feel that using the Stamparatus is going to, with embossing, is going to make it so that if I have any issues with the watercolor paper taking the Versamark, I can go over it in the exact same spot and get more ink coverage, because watercolor paper is textured, so it doesn't always accept that ink really well. So I'm just going to make sure that I've got a good solid coverage. So I'm pressing evenly with it. Okay, now pull my magnet off. Yeah, I can see, I don't know that you can see that it is all covered. So I am going to give that a wipe with my Simply Chamois. And I am going to offer anybody that purchases a Simply Chamois from me, either in person or in my online store, I'm going to be giving you a free stamp case to keep it in, because it comes just in clear plastic packaging that you have to take it out. So the stamp case makes it easy to store. You know where it is. It can store on your shelf or in a drawer, easy peasy. Now I'm just looking to make sure I've got even coverage everywhere with my embossing powder. I picked these containers up at the dollar store here in town. We have a few different dollar stores. I find that it's easier to keep it in this with this tiny little spoon. We used it last night in my memory keeping class. I will show you, once we're done this, I will show you the page that we did. And then I come in, and if there's any little strays, I just have this paintbrush that I can come in and wipe away. Now, excuse the noise for a minute. You always should heat your heat tool up first. Get it warmed up before you come at your stamped embossed image so that it doesn't blow all the embossing powder away. Okay, so trying not to get my head in the frame here. You can tell when it's heated enough and embossed because it goes shiny. And this is clear embossing powder that I'm using. Now I'm going to just pick it up so that I can see a bit better here. Make sure. Okay, done with that. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a clear block. This is E. All our blocks have the letter etched in the side, so if you're ever wondering what block it is, just look on the side. Now you have to make sure your block is nice and clean. There's no bits of any adhesive or anything like that on your block. So I'm going to come in with my Daffodil Delight first. I know there's a name for this, but I'm not sure exactly what it is. I will look it up before I post. As always, I post on my video on my blog on Saturdays. I'll do up a blog post with the measurements, and I will post the video on my YouTube page as well. If you don't subscribe to me on my YouTube, I would love it if you would pop on over there and take a look at my videos that I've got. Besides my weekly lives, I do once a month video hop with my Creating Kindness design team. Okay, now Granny Apple Green at the bottom. And I'm just using the edge here to go up. And I'm not worried about it contaminating because it's a darker color. So you can see the 3 lines there. Close that up. Now I'm going to come in with my Stampin' Spritzer. It's just filled with water, just regular tap water. And I'm going to take a tissue and place it down. Now I find that it your paper does not curl as much if you give it a light mist on the back. You can see there's just a few drops on there. And then I find also that your ink color is going to transfer a little easier onto your watercolor paper if you give it a little spritz as well before. So then I've just taken it and bent it back a bit to get it back into shape. And then I'm going to take my block in my hand and give it a light spritz with the water, and you can see it's beating up, and maybe just a little bit more. And this technique, every time you do it, you're going to get a different look. So I'm just rotating my block around to try and get them to, the colors to kind of move around a bit. Okay, so I think actually I need just a smidge more towards the top. There, get that Daffodil Delight moving. All right, so sorry if I hit or get my head in here at all. Place it right down over your embossed image. Apply pressure to really, you can see that there's a few holes there where there's maybe not quite enough water. You have to give it a few seconds so that the ink transfers onto your cardstock, and then I lift up like a door, slowly from the side, just like that. And then I've got another tissue on hand here that I am going to just touch to my paper here to suck up some of that excess. Okay, and then around my embossed image, you can see that there is a lot of white space. So I'm going to come in with my aqua painter, and because there's still ink on the block, I'm going to come in and with that Mango Melody, I'm going to come in and color in that area that I want it to be highlighted. And then come up here. And I'm not worried about going outside the lines at all because I have, I'm planning on trimming that down. Okay, then I'm going to wipe that off. Squeeze to get the water to pour through the barrel, and I'm going to pick up some green here. And this is because I didn't have this area wet enough for it to accept the ink really well. It resisted it because it's such a thick paper. So then you would just set that aside to dry and then give it a rub to get any of the excess ink that might be on there. And then I just take my paper towel, wipe off the excess ink, and then come in with my Simply Chamois here and just dab it on there to get the rest of that off so it's nice and clean. Okay, so you need to set this aside to let it be really dry before you do anything with it. So I actually have another one here that I did earlier. And as you can see, I trimmed it all down. I will have the measurements on my blog, like I said, on Saturday. All of the supplies that I've used and the measurements. So I'm going to come in with Sending Well Wishes Your Way. One of my sweet ladies recently fell and broke her ankle. So she had surgery last week, So I'm going to send this card to her. So now I'm using the Jet Black Stays On because it's a deeper, richer black. So I'm going to use that so that it really stands out well on my card front here. There. I really like the way that pops off of that. Now to clean your Stays On, you need to be using the Stays On cleaner. Now, I would not recommend that you take this and get it. You can see as soon as you put it on here, it starts to lift that color off. I would not put this on my Simply Chamois because Stays On cleaner will eat your photopolymer stamps. So if you're coming in with a photopolymer stamp afterwards and you've got your Stays On residue still on that Simply Chamois, it's going to start to eat away at your photopolymer stamps. So I highly recommend that if you're using your Jet Black Stays On and your Stays On cleaner, that you would use the stamping scrub instead of your Simply Chamois. So that way you keep it separate and you don't have to worry about that Stays On cleaner destroying your photopolymer. Hi, Stephanie. So here we have it. Now I'm going to bring in my silicone craft sheet, my favorite liquid glue. Hi, Carol. Where are you watching from? Is that how you say your name? I'm not sure. I hope I pronounced it right. So just flip that over to give good even pressure. And you can see it's just a thin line that I'm using. I'm not using a lot. I know a lot of people don't like liquid glue because they say that they get all sticky. Well, if you're not using too much, that should not be an issue. My hands, they have ink on them, but they have no glue on them. So I'm going to close that up. And I am a ribbon girl, so I'm going to take my baker's twine and the trick that I've shown you before with the glue dots. So I'm going to decide whereabouts my bow is going to go. Now this should be interesting today. I am in desperate need of a manicure. My nails are so super long. I'm not used to having them this long. But I've just been too busy to get an appointment booked. So we shall see how it goes today with, try that again here. And fumble fingers today. There we go. So once I decide whereabouts I want my bow to be on the left side, so I'm taking my paper piercing tool and a little glue dot, and I'm going to just stick it where I want my bow to go, and I'm going to just attach it right there, and then you've got time to then move your strings just like that. It just holds that in place. You don't need anybody else's, a friend's finger to hold. Just like that. And then take my paper snips. And, oh good, I said it right. Snip that off, and then maybe shorten that just a bit. I always hold the center so that it doesn't get the baker's twine to get all twisted. So then I'm going to take some dimensionals, and I use every little bit. So I've got the edges snipped here. Pop that. Just like that. I have seen an awful lot of projects online using this fabulous set. I think it is a clear favorite in the new catalog. So there we have it. There is my Get Well card. Just like that. Now, I have a few things to tell you. I have a bingo coming up this Tuesday, June 26th. If you are local and you would like to join us, I have one spot available. It is $45. You play 10 games of bingo, good old-fashioned bingo with the cards and the daubers. You get 2 make and takes. We do at halfway point. You get a swag bag with $25 worth of Stampin' Up! Product in it. And you're playing for Stampin' Up! Prizes. So if you're local and you would like to join us, please let me know by Saturday. That is the 23rd. And I require payment ahead of time before that night. Also, like I said, if you order the Simply Chamois from me, I am going to give you a stamping case. I will send it to you if you are not local. If you're local, I will get it to you that way. But as you can see, it fits in there perfectly. Just like that. So I think it's a must-have for storing your Simply Chamois. And the Simply Chamois is on page 206, and it is only $11, which is a great deal. And as you saw me earlier with my Stamparatus, it's easy to fold up and clean your stamp just like that. What else do I have to tell you? Oh, every person that places an order with me until Sunday, June 24th, please use the host code here. I'm going to send you a Share What You Love Artisan Pearl as a thank you for shopping with me. And so it doesn't matter the size of the order. All orders placed with me from today, June 21st, until Sunday, June 24th at 9 p.m., you will get a Share What You Love Artisan Pearl from me. Also, I have, for all orders placed with me, $35 before shipping and tax, you will be entered into a draw to win this Hostess Set Feathery Friends. This it's a red rubber stamp, and it was in last year's annual catalog that just retired. It's got great open images for coloring in. So everybody that places a $35 order before tax and shipping from now until Sunday night, the 24th at 9 p.m. will be entered into a draw to win this stamp set. This Hostess stamp set, you would have had to have spent $200 before tax and shipping to be able to choose this as part of your host rewards. So I think that's a pretty good deal. And everybody who shares my video, you have to comment that you shared it so that I know. We'll go into a draw to win these clear, they're glitter and clear epoxy shapes. They were from the Occasions catalog. I love these things. I was very sad that they didn't carry on. I'm going to do a draw for these as well. So I've got lots of giveaways happening right now. I've got the Artisan Pearls. Everybody that places an order gets this. The epoxy shapes. If you share my video and comment that you've shared it, you will be entered into a draw and somebody will win that for free. And then if you place a $35 order in my online store, you will be entered into a draw for this stamp set. Now, I'm sorry, you have to be Canadian to shop with me. And there's also everybody that purchases Simply Chamois with me from today on will receive one of these. So I also want to show you, last night was my memory keeping club, and this is what we did with the Dandelion Wishes stamp set. I took my inspiration from the annual catalog, the page that it's on, page 118. There was a different layout, but it had the family, and it had the Dandelion Wishes. So I just went with that. That was my inspiration, and I went from there, and I took the little hearts that came out of this heart border from the Delicate Edge borders. I took my hearts and put them on here, and then afterwards I colored them with some Wink of Stella. And then on the other page, I heat embossed and then sponged Balmy Blue over top. So those are my two pages. My memory keeping club is every month. It's $35 order placed the night of club. We take turns with being host to collect the host rewards, and it's always a 12 by 12 traditional page and then a 12 by 12 pocket page. If you're not interested in the becoming a club member, we always have room. You can join us the night and do the pages that night as a guest. You just simply have to place a $35 before tax and shipping order that night. Yeah, so next week, I have to say, I will not be here on Thursday. I have my hair appointment in the morning. And then in the afternoon, right after lunch, I am going with my future daughter-in-law, Allie, and her mother. I am going with them for Allie's final bridal dress fitting. The wedding is the wedding is Saturday, July the 7th. So this is her final fitting for her wedding dress. So I am lucky enough to be invited along with them to see that. So family always comes first. So I will be doing my live next Wednesday afternoon at 1 o'clock instead. So please be sure to pop back on and see me then. If you're shopping online with me, please use the June host code here. My blog is right here. Follow me there. I'm on Instagram. I'm on YouTube. And here on Facebook, and as well on Twitter. So I think I have all the social media areas covered. I post my stuff to my creations to Pinterest as well. I think that is about it for today, unless anybody has any questions for me. So remember, bingo is this coming Tuesday, June 26th at 6:30. I do have one spot left. Again, it is $45. You get a swag bag with $25 worth of Stampin' Up! Product. You play 10 games of good old-fashioned bingo for Stampin' Up! Prizes, and we do 2 make and takes. It's a super fun evening. My girls always have a blast at it. So if you're local and would like to join us, please message me. Email me, Marcy at stampinwithmarcy.com, or private message me here on my business page, and we can talk some more about it. Thanks so much for stopping by today. I hope you have a super day. Looking out the window, I know next up on my list of to-dos is cutting the grass. So have a super day. Thanks again. Bye.